Pull up a chair. This is the Pattaya Red Pill Report. Oscar Wilde once said, "Everything is about sex except sex. Sex is about power." Cute quote. But let's get real. If that's true, then most of you are walking around like limp dick peasants in a world built by horny kings. You ain't chasing sex. You're choking the chicken in a dark room while real men are out here converting hunger into empire. See, men used to build roads, kill beasts, and start revolutions with nothing but testosterone and frustration. Now, most can't build a fucking morning routine without a dopamine hit from porn or a TikTok thought in yoga pants. You want to know why you feel hollow? Because you pissed away the fuel meant to conquer your fears, your vices, and this goddamn world. And in Pattaya, that weakness doesn't just make you invisible. It makes you pray. But before we rip into the truth, tap subscribe. This is Red Pill Therapy without the hugs. If you want how-to guides, a degenerate's guide will make you laugh, cringe, and learn. For the war stories, Thai Life Chronicles is where the chaos lives. Now, let's talk about how jerking off killed your purpose and why every time you bust, another piece of your masculine soul dies screaming. The lie you've been sold, you've been fed this idea your whole life that sex is a reward for being nice, for being polite, for playing the long game. Bullshit. Sex is the battlefield. Power is the prize, and you've been disarmed since puberty. Schools told you to respect women. Church told you to wait. Society told you to focus on your feelings. But they never told you the truth. That your entire drive, your ambition, your purpose as a man is wired into your dick. And when you neuter that drive with cheap releases, with porn, with OnlyFans, with begging for scraps on Tinder, you're castrating your own potential. That's not just weak. That's engineered failure. Because a man without fire is easy to control. A man who doesn't chase anything dangerous will never build anything powerful. And the truth is, your libido was never the problem. Your leash was. Pattaya shows you this every night. You walk down Walking Street and see two guys. One, built, confident, controlled, girls orbit him. One sloppy, desperate, hoping 2,000 baht buys him love. He gets rinsed. Same city, same options. Different man. The difference? One turned frustration into fuel. The other turned comfort into a cage. And if that hit a nerve, good. You might still have a pulse. Porn killed the conqueror. You want to know what killed kings? Wi-Fi. That's right. The fall of the modern man didn't come from war or famine. It came from unlimited, instant access to pixelated pussy. You used to have to earn it. Now, a few swipes, a free site, and boom, you're sedated, domesticated, fucking defeated. Men used to cross oceans for real women. You can't even cross the street without clearing your browser history first. You think Genghis Khan stopped mid-invasion to rub one out in a yurt? You think Alexander the Great would have conquered half the known world if he had Pornhub Premium? Hell no. He would have stayed home, drained, depressed, and making excuses like half of you are right now. This shit is engineered to break you. You relieve the frustration that was meant to drive your legacy. And for what? Some fake moaning and a dead stare into the abyss when you're done? That's not a sex life. That's slow suicide with lube. And in Pattaya, porn is your biggest enemy. Because when you show up here all dopamine dead and socially retarded, the girls know. They smell it on you. You ain't a man with fire. You're a dude with calluses on his right hand and a dead look in his eye. And that's why you get played. That's why you overpay. That's why you catch feelings for freelancers and cry when they ghost you. Because you didn't show up as a man. You showed up as a casualty. The lost art of sublimation. There was a time when men didn't just want sex. They used it. They took that burning urge, that primal hunger, and forged steel empires with it. Bridges, wars, cathedrals, kingdoms. That was the original transmutation of lust into legacy. Freud called it sublimation. I call it how to not be a bitch. It's when you take that wild, chaotic sex drive and channel it into something that actually earns you respect. Lifting weights, starting businesses, writing, fighting, leading, turning that want into will. But now, you don't sublimate. You masturbate, you don't build. You binge, you don't hunt, you hope. And guess what? Life doesn't reward hope. It rewards hunger. Every chick out here has seen thousands of dudes like you tapping out before the fight even starts. No edge, no drive, just wallets, wide eyes, and wilted testosterone. That's why sublimation isn't some abstract psychobabble. It's survival. Because when you're here in the jungle of vice and validation, you either come in focused or you leave lighter, lonelier, and fucking broke. So if your only goal is busting a nut, you've already lost. The real mission: become the man she wants to fuck, and then decide if she's even worth it. That's power. That's red pill. And that's what separates conquerors from consumers. Where have all the real men gone? They ask it like it's a mystery. Where have all the good men gone? I'll tell you. They're buried under a pile of napkins, dopamine hits, Uber Eats receipts, and crushed fucking dreams. You think society just forgot how to make real men? Nah, motherfucker. They engineered your extinction. They taught you comfort is the goal, that ambition is toxic, that masculinity is dangerous, and that chasing excellence is somehow oppressive. Meanwhile, they handed you Pornhub, antidepressants, and gender neutral pronouns and told you to smile. And like a good little boy, you fucking complied. You traded your sword for a smartphone. You traded risk for routine. You traded fire for feelings. And now you wonder why women don't respect you, why they don't look at you like a man, why you come to Pattaya thinking it'll be different but still get treated like an ATM with a dick. You didn't lose them. You lost you, because the real men, the builders, the fighters, the savages with vision and self-control, they're rare, they're dangerous, and they're busy building legacies while the rest of you are building only fan subscriptions. The truth is simple. A real man doesn't need to chase women. He becomes so undeniable they chase him. And Pattaya is not an escape. It's a mirror. It shows you exactly where you stand. So, if you showed up weak, lost, and needy, don't blame the girls. Blame the coward in the mirror, the harem that kills you. You think you got it made, huh? Hundreds of girls at your fingertips. Instagram models, cam girls, TikTok thoughts, and a porn category for every twisted itch you've got. You've got more digital pussy than Genghis Khan had real ones, but here's the punchline. You're still alone, still miserable, still jacking off to pixels instead of dominating your world. This fake-ass harem, it doesn't make you a king. It makes you a court jester, laughing at your own downfall while the world passes you by. And while you're sitting in your room, triple tapping your screen, some other guy is building muscle, building money, building options, and she knows. Oh yeah. When you walk around the world thinking your body count from Pornhub matters, she sees you, eyes soft, weak posture, beta stench. You ain't the guy who earns her desire. You're the guy who rents her time. And then you catch feelings and get played and go back to your hotel thinking you're the victim. No, bro, you're the addict. You OD'd on fake femininity. You're not choosing women anymore. You're outsourcing your manhood to your phone. You think you're in control, but you've been chemically castrated by likes, swipes, and lotion. And until you snap out of it, until you reclaim that fire and turn your harem into hustle, you'll keep losing. No matter how many bar girls pretend to love you, reclaim the fire, reclaim your life. Here's the truth most of you cowards can't face. You were never meant to be comfortable. You were meant to burn, to wake up with a mission, to grind your teeth against the struggle, to chase, fight, and bleed for something that actually fucking matters. But somewhere along the way, you got soft. They told you to meditate the hunger away, to journal about your feelings, to be vulnerable. You don't need vulnerability, you need vengeance. You need to remember what it felt like to want something so bad your whole body screamed for it. Not porn, not a bar girl, purpose. Because when you kill that fire, you don't become emotionally balanced, you become forgettable. And in a city like Pattaya, where the wolves and the sheep share the same bars, that gets you eaten. So here's your final red pill. Every man who's ever built something great, who's ever conquered, inspired, dominated, he didn't do it in spite of his lust. He did it because of it. He turned sex into sweat, lust into labor, desire into dominance, and that's the move. That's the code. Sublimate the urge, starve the weakness, build the beast. Because the girls here, they don't fall for love. They submit to power. So let's break it down one more time for the simps in the back. Everything is about sex, your drive, your ambition, your grind. But sex itself, that's about power. And if you got none, you'll never get the kind you want. You've been tricked into draining your fire instead of forging your empire. The world doesn't need more soft men. It needs dangerous ones with discipline. And in Pattaya, the difference isn't theory, it's survival. If you felt attacked, good. That means there's something in you worth saving. Now do something about it. Hit subscribe. Leave a comment telling me how you're taking the fire back. And share this with a brother who's drowning in comfort and needs to wake the fuck up. If the truth hurts, good. That means you're still alive. I'm Josh, and this was your Pattaya Red Pill Report. See you next round.